So first of all, thank you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to present to you, and I would like to thank my colleague Sangeet for pitching how to safeguard your browser experience. Now that you have secured your AI browser, now you can actually adopt the AI services, right? And I was sitting here around half an hour back. I was there for the panel discussion. I think that was the perfect segue into what I'm going to talk about on how organizations are going to enable AI, right? What we are seeing today across the NBFC vertical, right? There are three core challenges which continue to remain for the last 3 or 4 years since I've been talking to all of you folks. One is the focus on growth, then is efficiency, and the third one is profitability, right? In the AI world, all these three pillars are going to get impacted, and in fact, it could be an area of opportunity for you to leverage all of this. Growth is, of course, on how to garner the next big set of customers, how to onboard them, right? The entire customer landscape is changing, the demographics are changing, and how to get them on board. When it comes to efficiency, we heard some of the panel folks talk about the contact center calls are more expensive using AI than human people, right? But then there are other processes which can drive efficiencies. And efficiencies, of course, in your operations will reduce your costs. I think all of you have been battling with RPA for a while. RPA has been a buzzword, I remember 4 or 5 years back. Now with AI, I think a lot more innovation can be accelerated using this, right? Especially your operational efficiencies can be managed. And the third is profitability. But rather than profitability, I would like to talk about how you guys focus on reducing your risk through fraud, right? I think fraud is something which is going to become more rampant, is already very rampant. And if you can drive your fraud down, you can definitely increase your bottom lines. And that is how AI can also leverage this. So I'll stick around these three themes as we go forward. Now, when I spoke about growth, right, and I spoke about the changing demographics, India is changing, and the way India buys also changes, right? Some interesting stats from some of the studies we did, right? 41% of the new borrowers were the Gen Z category. Now, I'm sure some of you are servicing the Gen Z category. They are not to the easiest. I think I just escaped that. I'm the millennial. But of course, these folks are a bit tricky, right? To get them on board, their attention spans are minuscule. And they're, of course, very early adopters and heavy adopters of technology. Another interesting fact is 40% of the loans which were given to non-metro cities. I've been hearing this recurring theme that we have to sell to tier 2, tier 3. Well, this was something the customers were thinking, or all of you folks were thinking about 4 or 5 years back. Now it's become a reality. The business now lies there, right? And the third interesting fact is 724 unserved people, folks who are not getting any loans or are not in the borrower category. This is a massive opportunity for a lot of people, right? Let me circle back on this, right? India has a population of 1.3 billion. There are around 320 million households, and only 387 of them have TV sets. So your traditional outreach program of using TV and media and print media are probably failing. And guess what? YouTube has 687 million users. That's pretty much addressing this whole 724 million audience, right? And of course, I'm part of Google, so is Sangeet, and we are extremely proud of being a part of an organization which can sort of help all of you, not only in tech, but also in the media and content outreach programs, right? So YouTube and search makes it extremely easy to reach out to this target audience. Today morning, I was reading the paper, I heard the average usage of data was 36 GB per person in India. Of course, that's been accelerated by mobile adoption, but also speaks volume on how much content Indians are generating. From your auto driver to my maid to all of us, right? We are consuming a lot of content. And reaching them through this channel becomes extremely critical. Now, the next segue is, of course, AI is changing completely changing the way we consume, right? AI mode, I remember 2 years back when it launched, a lot of negative reviews came. But today, 2 billion users are consuming AI mode, right? The way we search has changed. We don't just type a couple of words and expect to go through links. No one has patience. At least I don't have any patience anymore to go through a link and then understand and then do my own discovery, right? AI mode. You guys use ChatGPT. Hopefully you use Gemini more often than ChatGPT. But yeah, you guys use that also to search content, right? So the way people are searching for content, the way people are generating or creating content. The other day, my 8-year-old son had a science project and he used Gemini and Nano Banana to create the content. I was blown actually by his creativity. First, I gave a stab at it and I created some rubbish. But he went at it and he really created something beautiful out of it, right? The way the tech is evolving and how people are going to create content is going to be phenomenal in the future. Of course, there are going to be the naysayers who says that creativity is going to be damned thanks to AI, but I think we need to have a separate lens on that as well. And of course, and finally, the way we learn and write. I think the mothers or any fathers here who help in the project works, it has been a great boon. Okay, it helps us create projects really quickly. But of course, the learning has also changed. The other day, my son wanted to understand how the universe works, and I leveraged Gemini to help me talk him through the whole process, right? So AI is changing the world. And it comes to Google. Of course, I'm here, so I'm going to pitch the Google advantages. But for the first time of my 6 years working in Google, I'm truly, truly excited, right? And for the first time in 6 years, we have a clear value-driven story. When it comes to Google versus the other hyperscalers, Google is right now the only hyperscaler who has an end-to-end vertically integrated infrastructure to service your AI needs, right? When it comes from the infrastructure, which is AI, we have heard of people scrambling for GPUs, but Google for the last decade has been making its own own GPUs. We call them TPUs now. We've been making it for the last 10 years. And this has given us an edge not only to drive down the costs, but also to enable to reach out to more customers and provide the scale which you customers need. Of course, we've been leaders in data and AI and all those other things. But now with the models which we have, Gemini 3 has been recently launched. It has been an out-and-out success. Phenomenal success, and I think the tech gurus have named it probably the best performing model. So with Google, you get the infrastructure, you get the ability to ground the data. The gentleman who came before me and even the person from Beam mentioned that grounding your data is extremely important. Securing your data within your tenant is extremely important. Google provides you the infrastructure, then we provide you the models, and now with the agentic approach, we provide you a way to automate your processes using these models, right? So extremely proud to be a part of Google, who is the only hyperscaler right now who has the entire vertical integration. Coming to that, however, Google has always been dedicated to the open source community. The Transformer paper, which was released, the white paper on Transformer was released, led to this AI revolution, led to the folks like GPT, Anthropic, and others building the AI models and large language models. We then recently, or not recent now, it's a couple of years, it feels like yesterday, we announced ADK, which allows you guys to create and develop agents. We announced A2A, which is a widely adopted agent-to-agent protocol, because the future is going to be agents talking to each other. And now, I think this last couple of months, we announced something AP2, which is our agents-to-payment protocol. And that is extremely relevant to all of you folks, because you can now leverage agents to automate payments. So your conversational commerce, if any one of you guys are thinking of conversational commerce use cases, now it will become a reality by securing your payments to the AP2 framework. These are all open source, easy to adopt, and we are not tying you into any technology. But the other thing is, and I think we also heard this recurring theme, there's a lot of experimentations, a lot of POCs going on. In the real world, we are really not seeing a lot of usage, especially in enterprises, right? While consumers are moving 10 steps ahead and are already expecting that experience, I think some of the traditional organizations have not caught up to giving that experience to their users, right? There's still that fear-mongering going on that AI is a bubble or all those other things, but I think we have to embrace AI. Considering this, Google has launched something called Agent Space. It was reflecting on his slide. We have changed the name. We have been extremely notorious. I apologize. We keep changing our names. It went from Bard to Gemini. Agent Space also went from Gemini to Gemini Enterprise. But essentially, the core theme is to enable all you folks to embrace AI, embrace agents, automate your workflows, all through a few clicks, and enable it in a couple of days or in weeks, not in months. This helps you reduce the cycle. What I'm going to do now is going to stop talking through slides and just tell you a story about two extremely enterprising ladies. One is Ria and the other is Maya. Let's get to that. So Ria is a Gen Z. She's part of the 40% group who's now looking at a property loan. She, of course, has done a research, but her research was through YouTube. She goes to YouTube, sees an ad which was personalized for her, and from the ad, she lands to a web page, right, of a fictional company of ours called Simple Finance. Right? Let me show you what her journey will look like, because she's guided by a chatbot. So a chatbot, when she lands there, the chatbot through conversational experience guides her to the web page, landing page. This is the primary goal of any marketeers or digital folks, to get them here first, right? And now the tech folks would be interested in this. So Ria, of course, enters her name and enters all the details which she requires to be done, right? The next step is she then goes ahead and uploads her documents. Now, of course, property loans can be very tricky, and they can have multiple types of documents in multiple languages. Could be Hindi, could be Kannada, could be any other language which is here, right? She goes ahead and uploads her documents, and there she goes, and then she submits the documents, right? This is straightforward, nothing great about it. But what now happens is, in the backend, there's an agent which is now reviewing all these documents, understanding whether all the documents submitted are the ones which are required by her, right? And then it gives a prompt to her that, hey Ria, you missed 3 documents which are not part of your set which you shared. Typically, and I've gone through a home loan a couple of years back, I had to go to a branch office, submit all my documents, go home, then after 3 days I get, sir, aapka ye 3 document baki hai, please aa jao wapas. Then again, just the whole submitting of process took me around a week, right? And that's not the ideal experience. Now this for Ria has been just a couple of minutes rather than a whole week. You can already see the efficiencies which are coming into the process. Of course, she has to submit a few documents. She changes the mind and changes the loan type. Let's go for that. Okay. She uploads, she changes the loan type, and there she submits the loan. So now Ria is done. Now what happens then is the other lady who I spoke about, Maya, she goes ahead and she plays the role of a credit so let's go to Maya's role, right? She's an underwriter for the loan. She is the one processing the loan. This is another way to transform the experience. Typically what Maya would do is go to her desk and go through a bunch of documents, review all these documents, and then give her assessment, right? How can AI enable her? So then when Maya starts her work now in this new AI world, this is Gemini Enterprise, as you can see the interface. It's extremely clean interface, what we are all used to, so the search experience. On the left, you see there are multiple agents. While I would love to give you another 1-hour demo on this, we'll avoid that, but we'll just see what Maya does, right? And how she starts her day. So Maya says, show me the latest pending applications, and goes ahead and starts her day. So here you can see, she can see Ria's application, and she goes ahead and starts with application 1005, which is Ria's. There, all Ria's documents are here. Now typically, I've seen some processes where the documents are given to them and they start reading through documents. Not in the AI world, right? Maya has got a bit lazy thanks to her company giving her AI tools. And she just says, okay, AI, come on, tell me what these documents are missing, right? Is this person good enough for a loan from my organization? So there, after reading the documents, and you saw the multilingual documents. There was English, Hindi, there's also Kannada in that, right? AI has gone through the documents and identified 3 areas which could be potential reasons for her denying the loan, right? The first one was address mismatch. This seems simple, but simple enough, right? But so Maya asked, like, what's the reason for this, right? Why is the mismatch there? So apparently, and since I've done the demo, I know it, apparently there's a mismatch in the address given in the property tax versus her home agreement, which she submitted. This is very, very common. This is a very, very common one. Now, typically, what would Maya need to do? She would probably need to call someone and do a site survey, right? But not in the case of AI, because she has the ability to ground with Google, and using Google Maps API, she's able to get an instance that let's resolve this deviation, right? So with Google Maps was able to pinpoint the same location, the same address in the property tax document versus the loan agreement. Google Maps showed it to be the same address. So she did not need to then go ahead and call anyone else to do the resolution. So she said, great, the address rocks, let's go for the next step, right? So then what is the next deviation, right? The next deviation was, let's wait for it. So next deviation was the rate of the home or the property value was 20% higher than the market rate as per her intelligence, right? Again, a very common problem. This happened to me as well. So okay, so I think my time's up. I'm going to rush through this. So now she has Google search. She can do a quick search on Google. She can do a quick search on Google and go for and check whether it's the reality. Is it actually 20% higher, right? And as you can see, the Google search says clearly that what Ria has quoted is absolutely fine, and she can resolve this deviation. The last deviation is a bit important because it's complex. So right now it looks like Ria is getting the loan. But the last one is going to throw a spanner in the books. Let's see what the third deviation is, right? So in third deviation, Maya gets a look at all her bank statements, right? And the bank statements look great. She's got a Gen Z, she's rocking it, she's got a great job, right? However, there was an issue. Her overdrafts have been more than her salary. So Maya, being a Gen Z, she's extremely ambitious, and she's definitely spending more on Zomato than she should, right? Clearly, she's spending more than what she affords, right? And typically, this would have been a reason for rejection. But Maya, being enterprising, says, "Hey, let's study some more. Let's see her IT tax returns." On seeing her IT tax returns, it comes out that Ria is extremely diligent about filing her returns, and in fact, she had a case which was raised by the IT department, and she ensured that she resolved the case in a timely manner. That shows that Ria is definitely a good person, right? Again, I'm trying to jump through it, so just go through the next steps. Then the next step is she looks at the assets. That Ria surprisingly has 10 crore worth of assets. Now, seeing all of this, right, if it was the first thing of the overdraft, probably a loan would have been rejected. But then after seeing her IT returns and after seeing her assets, she's clearly a good candidate for you to give her this loan. And this could have been a missed customer opportunity if it wasn't for AI, right? Again, tying it back to efficiency and profitability and all those other themes which I spoke in the beginning. AI can help you get more results. Now, it doesn't end here. How does this end? So she says, fine, but Maya needs to investigate why that overdraft is happening. AI drafts an email for her, and Maya sends the mail, right? And that's it. And this chain continues beyond that. But as you can see, this whole automation clearly solves a problem which would have taken days into hours. Someone spoke about loans in 10 seconds. Well, in the personal finance space, you can actually offer that as well. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much.